communities are calling the police more often than people in white communities. And that might be an explanation of why police are spending more time in black communities. It's not, police go, generally speaking, where they're needed. And if you got a population or a city or a county or a whatever that's made up of a majority of black people, that would account to the appearance like they're being overpopulated. They're being over-policed.
In Chicago, they removed the shot tracker. So when a gunshot broke out, they were able to identify where it happened and how many gunshots a day throughout the city. They didn't renew that contract. But guess what they did put in? Air purity sniffers to find out if there's what the pollution contaminants in the air. They installed those all around the city. Now, all of a sudden, we're at the 60-year crime low. It's because there's no statistics anymore. These are charlatans, liars, fraudsters. And, it's amazing how there's no resistance to it. The property taxes are up 300%. The spending is crazy. These grants and these tax credits. And the city in Chicago is $100 billion in debt. But there's really no resistance to the fake smiles and the insincere hypocrisy and the slaughter that's happening in the streets. I mean, people getting lit on fires by people arrested 75 times. There's no real resistance. And if you do resist it, you're called a homophobe or a racist, not a concerned taxpayer and citizen. So, I wish I had a firearm and it was easy to just go get one and have it immediately. But they're restricting firearms in Chicago, and the gangbangers got no problem having a full arsenal of Uzis and machine guns. So these stupid attorney generals who are trying to pass this anti-gun legislation, they're not cracking down on the gangbangers riding around creating TikToks of themselves with full arsenals. I mean, we live in clown town, and this is just a clown house. Hello?
There was an issue with the FBI with crime data reporting. They revamped the system. I think it was in 2021. And there was a lot of underreporting that happened nationally with crime statistics.
Yeah, I think it was that year. Could have been that year. They reported it, and then, oops, but we left out Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, and maybe a couple other cities. And then 6 months later, they quietly updated it with the correct numbers. So it made all the numbers. See, crime is down now under Biden.
Oh, I hate to interrupt. I just wanted to correct something. Marshall Rankin was calling Stephen Miller a demon today. And so I did notify Stephen Miller that Marshall Rankin was calling him a demon here on behalf of, his congresswoman's campaign. I just hope Stephen Miller gets the message.
The books were cooked on crime rates, living in New Orleans, being a city that relies on tourism. And it was put out some sort of memo maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that they were reporting the murder too often, and that they wanted the local news stations and the newspapers to quit reporting the local murders because they were worried that it would affect tourism rates. And when I realized that they cooked these books in these cities largely to make the perception of safety better, that you can't really trust all these things. Like, there is incentive to underreport.
We were tracking it with hate crimes because there was like Florida, California, New York. They were not in the system to report it to the FBI, so they had like really low numbers of it. But generally, I think they changed their whole system. There were definite jurisdictions that didn't participate or didn't provide statistics. So I think that all got revamped.
I think if you're like a police chief and you're the ones responsible for reporting if you're doing a good job or not, well, I mean, clearly I have an incentive just based upon my performance to underreport crime. And say, look, everything's good here in the city of New Orleans. Our murder rate's down.
This is what they did in D.C., you know, before they fired that Washington, D.C. police chief. She was fudging the numbers, underreporting the numbers. And it is what it is. How you can't rely on the statistics. And the fact that they're so interested in restorative justice and everything is structural white racism, there's absolutely no reason to believe any sanctuary city's numbers. It's absolutely absurd. Right now, the city of Chicago still has 50,000 illegal Venezuelan migrants that they're still spending money on. The state of Illinois is spending $2.5 billion on sanctuary city policies, housing and stipends and Medicare, Medicaid. It's like, you know, fuck. I mean, use the army. Don't just use ICE. I mean, use the fucking army. What's it for? Just for regime change overseas instead of national domestic security? It's fucking crazy.
You got a little issue with that. You can't do that, unfortunately, under federal law.
What's just regime change overseas?
Yeah, to answer Victor's original question, I don't know about the exoneration rates. I realize that there's corruption, and also there's good old boy systems. And I'm a white male. I'm likely going to have 50% of the jurors are going to be black. And if I kill a black boy, my chances of being convicted are greater in the city of New Orleans. It's just the way it is. It's a corrupt ass city. The sword cuts both ways.
See, Abby, when you say you can't do pussy comitatus or you can't deploy the National Guard to secure sanctuary cities, you absolutely can do that. And the truth is, history is not kind to people who say, you can't do that. That's not within our tradition or our law. This country is going hyper dynamic, whether you like it or not, because we're $200 trillion in debt. And every major city and state is bankrupt. See what the baby boomers are really all about. And it might not happen here, but it's going to happen overseas. Russia is not going to stand for this never-ending drone warfare. Like, eventually Russia and Putin, before Putin kicks the can, he's going to say, fuck it, flip the switch. I mean, that's why I say live every day like it's your last, because you never know when nuclear war could come out because of unrestricted warfare. And, you know, concerned about Ukraine and Russia than anything else, and nobody really is concerned about it. It's, to me, we're still spending $350 billion a year over there. It's like, this is World War III, and don't think it's going to end pretty. I mean, might be nice at a casino spa, but something's coming, in my opinion.
The exoneration rate for death, penalty murder, people that are on death row, that's like 4%. What the rate other than that is not known, as far as I know. So I guess you can kind of maybe extrapolate and say it's for other crimes, it's roughly the same. I don't know. But
yeah,
they do plant drugs on people. Like, well, if it wasn't this brother, it's probably another one of his friends. So let's just go ahead and get this one off the book. You know, we're gonna play some drugs here and get this guy off the street. That's happened quite a bit,
but not where let me just get this guy off the streets and plant drugs on him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I'm sure that's happened.
But my point of mention that is because Alan was talking about the recidivism rate, and I was saying it could be commensurate with over policing and the fact that black men are the most exonerated, and that's only what's caught. I can only imagine. I look at that like a tip of the iceberg type of thing.
Well, when people say that like 50% of the exonerees are black, but yeah, but it's like 50% of 4%. So it's still, and for murder, I mean, you gotta, most of the time, just about almost all the time, you have to have a body. Like, you can't just make the crime up. Like, there has to be a body. And I mean, it's pretty, most of the time it's cut and dry, you know, if there's a murder taking place.
I'm not necessarily sure what you.
Well, I'm saying, like, just arrest people for willy-nilly for a murder. So a lot of people, when they reference the FBI statistics, they say, "Oh, it's an arrest." Well, yeah, it's an arrest, but they usually have to have probable cause. A body has to be found. You know, a murder weapon. They won't just arrest anybody for murder. I mean, they do get it wrong sometimes, obviously, but it's not to the point where it would skew the statistics to make them proportionate.
You ever heard of the Innocence Project?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you check into the people being accused of murder who didn't murder in those scenarios?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's 4%.
Victor,
that's really what I'm saying. That's only what's caught. It's the tip of the iceberg. It's like if you're dealing with a thief. That's why I used the example earlier. If you catch a thief one time, oh, that's my first time stealing. That I don't believe that.
You know, the Innocence Project has been proven to be bullshit, and there are dozens of people who were freed by the Innocence Project and are not innocent. They are hardcore killers, but they were released because of the bullshit that they're doing with the judges and the lawyers. I can get you articles on it that they've released killers. They have freed actual for social justice equity because of the brain rot and the mind virus. I swear, does everybody have a cat here? Abby, do you have cats at home? Do you have the toxoplasmosis? Has that set it?
It's funny because like people in power staring at people don't have that. Like during the Jim Crow era, no one who killed people of African descent even had a jury. They even had claims laid against them, right? So it doesn't matter.
No one. See, here we go again. No one.
Who killed Martin Luther King?
No one. Don't use. This is where I start jumping on people. Don't use huge generalizations. It doesn't work.
Name one person convicted of murder against a black man during the Jim Crow era in Atlanta, Georgia.
I don't live in Atlanta and I don't practice law there, so I couldn't tell you. But James Earl Ray was the one who shot Martin Luther King, if I recall, in 1967, right?
That's the name that I recall, but I don't know.
James Earl Ray, yeah.
He was a patsy or what? I mean, you hear all these things.
I don't know.
Yeah, James Earl Ray.
So what are we talking about? Like, murder is murder, right?
James Earl Ray? I mean,
no, it's murder.
What do you mean is murder? What kind of comment is that? Are you talking about someone who premeditated an assassination of Martin Luther King?
In the history of America, murder is not murder.
I don't know what you're saying. There's all kinds of there's first degree, there's capital murder, there's manslaughter, there's voluntary manslaughter, involuntary. I mean, what do you want to define? Whether you have the criminal intent, the mens rea? I mean, was it reckless? Was it? I mean, where are you going with your comment?
I asked Grok to answer Joe's question. Harry Dean Ross for the murder of John Earl Reese in 1955. John Earl Reese, a 16-year-old black teenager, was killed in East Texas, the Longview area, in October of 1955. Amid tensions over funding for a new black school, two white men, Harry Dean Ross and Joe Reagan Simpson, drove by a cafe and fired shots into it, hitting Reese, who died the next day, and wounding his cousins. This occurred during the Jim Crow era. Ross was arrested after a Texas Rangers investigation, confessed, and was tried. In 1956 to 1957, an all-white jury convicted him of murder, and he received a suspended sentence of 2 to 5 years. Simpson's charges were dismissed after he testified against Ross. He also faced minimal consequences. So they did, you know.
Did they?
There was.
I mean, there was a bunch of African American people in the south of the Mason-Dixon line during the Jim Crow era that were murdered without any sort of lawful
I named one.
You know where the Mason-Dixon line is, Joe?
Yeah,
I do.
from North Virginia.
Yeah. Why would
It's
I
actually Delaware.
Yeah, exactly. The northern neck and south of the northern neck. Joe. Oh, there's two Joes. I got confused.
Yeah, that's what I was asking the other Joe.
Oh, my bad. Joe, I named one. Okay, give us a name of a black man murdered that there was no trial. And not that I'm not denying there wasn't. But give us one name.
Why would I know the name when we don't? Why would I? Do you think during the Jim Crow era? Let me ask
I
you a
just
question.
gave you James
Yeah,
Earl Ray, and he was convicted of the murder of Martin Luther King. So, like, what are we missing there?
Victor,
So do you guys think?
Hold on,
do you
Joe,
think-
real quick. This is the breakdown of the conversation. Is when someone's like, okay, well, just give one example to support your assertion. It's not that I'm denying it. Yes, I'm aware of the history of America. If you think we're going to stand here and defend Jim Crow era, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong room. We're not Democrats, bro. We're a bunch of Republicans in here. So tell me one. That's it. Give me one.
No, I don't have to. I'll give you the
You don't have to. So
atmosphere.
your point falls flat.
Because you're a Republican, it falls flat.
To be burned.
You could make a name up.
You don't understand what the world was like
You'd
in the
rather
United
dispute-
States during the Jim Crow era.
You'd rather
You don't
rather
understand what that was like?
The question and act like a fool and your point fall flat in this room rather
To
than
you it
just
does.
back it up.
I'm comfortable with my point.
What's the movie with Alec Baldwin? He's a lawyer and he tries to get somebody for
No,
murder.
don't change the subject. You think that in the Jim Crow
Yeah, I've
South,
seen that one.
you think in the Jim
Yeah.
Crow South,
Joe,
African Americans
Joe,
were getting.
Hold on a second. Once you make absolutes, says that no one was convicted, you lose an argument.
I never said that.
Yeah, man, you did.
You actually did. That's why I jumped
Well,
on it. Because I jump on
misspoke.
generalities. It doesn't work.
And that's why the young lady spoke, and she gave the case of MLK Jr. and someone else came up with the Texas case.
And the lynching, Willie Earl, and it was a South Carolina lynching in 1947, where a woman was tried for it.
Yeah, Joe, the point is that it's not to deny that Jim Crow era existed. Yes, it did. But can you just support your assertion? That's all. Give us one point, something that we can talk about. I mean, I gave one. You could say, well, the white guy got off easy. Just give us one, man.
Emmett Till.
Yeah, but the Emmett Till one is the one everyone talks about. But Henry Choate was 51 in 1951 in Tennessee, and they threw a black man into a river, 3 white men, and one of the guys confessed and was convicted of the murder. So Emmett Till was an all-white jury, and you can definitely use that as an example of where justice was not achieved at all. But you also you made a statement that there was not one case, and I just gave you 3 cases.
Oh God. Okay, let's get over that. Let's get over my absolutes. You win on the absolutes. Fine. What about a Henry Gilbert who was fucking killed? What about John Earl Reese? Thousands lynched between 1880 and 1940 in the. Fine, you got me on the absolutes, but to
Democrats.
the Jim Crow
Democrat
South.
alert.
No one's acting like the Jim Crow South wasn't awful.
Then what are you arguing? Then what is your position?
Well,
That only I misspoke in absolutes? Is that your only position, Abby?
Yes, that was my position.
Congratulations.
Well, I made the point that people on this app a lot of times, when the FBI murder statistics come up, that black people kill more than white people, not just per capita, but actually in raw numbers. They say, well, 50% of the exonerations are black people. They're exonerated more than white people. My point is, though, it's still a small. It doesn't even really put a dent in the numbers overall.
Do you have any proof of that? Do you have any proof of that statement? That black people are exonerated more than white people? Would you care to share a study?
I'm not making that claim. That's what the black people, they make the claim a lot of times.
You're not making that claim.
No.
No, I made the claim.
Then don't make that claim.
I didn't make the claim. I'm saying
you said it.
No,
He did not make the claim. He made it clear. That's not his wording. He said what he has heard.
Yeah, so I'm just saying
you're correct. Sorry. My bad.
Even if it's 100% of the exonerations are black guys, from what is known, 4% of death penalty cases that are exonerated, are exonerated of capital murder cases. So, I mean, we're talking about what? That's 4%. So if you did half of that, it's still not going to put a dent in the numbers. That's going to change the murder.
I keep on
So you say capital murder or first degree?
Whatever death, they're on death row. I think.
Okay.
So yeah, this whole exoneration came up not in regard to murder, but in regard to crime and recidivism. I'm not going to do it right now.
Recidivism.
Yeah, recidivism.
I got you.
But I keep going back to the same. But you keep talking about this 4%, man. You're dealing with what's caught. If you're dealing with corruption, you're only dealing with what's caught. So you have to use your imagination to imagine the iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg. That's only the tip. What's under there?
Correct, but I'm saying just you could speculate. I don't think it's going to be so much more than 4%, even on other crimes. It could be, but I think I'm totally just speculating here. I'm thinking for a drug crime, they'll plant cocaine on somebody, and they want to get this gangbanger off the street, and they know him. They've been going after him for a while, so sometimes they cheat and they'll throw they can't find the gun or they can't find whatever, and they'll plant once they can get them. I'm sure that
now you're using an anecdote to explain a trait,
corruption.
Right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. I was doing.
But
I'm speculating. I'm saying that's probably what happens. So I don't know
that's what happens. That's the drug war in the 1980s was against minorities.
We don't have a stat on it, though. Is the point? We don't have a figure.
And we don't anymore.
Right. We don't. That's the whole point.
But that is the reason for recidivism. So you poison the well. If you treat minor drug offenses in the 1980s as felonies, and then you also deal with the Great White Flight and all of the other aspects of American geopolitical prospects, you are going to increase recidivism for the races that are not white. That's what happened.
Hard, progressive liberal.
No, that's what happened factually. It's in GMI data for every mortgage loan. It is in data. It is in data.
Sir, let me ask you.
What data is this in?
The government monitoring information.
Drugs in the 80s.
What government monitoring information? From where? From crime statistics?
Every time you apply for a loan, for every time you get booked into central booking. Do you think we don't keep records of this thing?
I didn't ask.
What does government monitoring information mean to you?
I know exactly what government information is.
Why are you asking me then? Why are you asking me?
Because I'm asking you to cite
hold
it.
on, Abby, hold on.
You're asking me to cite it.
Who's we? You said we.
What did the drug war? Did the drug war catch a bunch of white people?
Yes.
It did. It caught a bunch of white. It did. It also caught a bunch of minorities.
But who's easier to
prison? To imprison?
No, sir. who's easier as a Democrat to talk to, whites or blacks? Black
Doesn't
people.
matter. The stats.
Yes, it does.
Nope, the stats
Because
are on my side.
look at this. They locking up all you black people.
Yep.
Look at this.
They locked you up for marijuana, which is legal.
They lock white people up for marijuana as well, sir.
They did, but they let them go.
But here's the biggest. But here's the biggest.
They had jobs.
What do you mean they let them go? I know many people that got arrested and did time for marijuana.
Abby knows.
Trust me, I grew up with guys in the 80s, white boys, that's still in prison. Still in prison.
There are
for
many,
That's
many that were
anecdote.
arrested in the 70s and 80s and in the late 60s that did time, that had to deal with having criminal records as they moved on in their lives. Yes, very
Add
common.
that to the 3 strikes rule.
Excuse me?
Arguing
Add
against
that to the
nobody.
three strikes rule, and then you have people who are.
Where's 3 strikes? You think that's in every state?
No, it's not in every state.
It's not
It's
in
in
every
many
state.
states.
So why
It's
would
in
you?
many states.
It was not.
A drug felony in the 80s and a possession or a weapon charge would get you a second charge. And another weapons charge or drug charge would get you a 3 strikes.
Depends on
An
the
automatic
amount.
felony.
Depends on the amount you were carrying, sir.
Out of curiosity, Joe.
Not without a prior offense.
So no. Even on your first strike, sir. So obviously you've never been in the streets. You just
I've
repeated
been in the streets.
bullshit.
Your first
No,
strike.
you haven't.
Your first strike does matter for amount. Your subsequent strikes do not.
3
Because you're on
strikes didn't
probation.
happen till the 90s, by the way. The 3 strikes. They weren't in the 70s and 80s.
No.
But they can't.
They didn't
that's so
exist
funny you
when
say
people
that.
were getting
So
busted
they just
for 5.
forgot about it. In the 90s, they were just like, oh,
No,
we're
it
going to
changed
forget
it.
about everybody's previous strikes. We're going to start it now. Everybody gets a
No,
new.
I'm
it
specifically
came from
saying
the
people did
80s.
not get.
It came from the 80s.
No, it didn't.
No, it came from forever. If you was a habitual offender, you would get more time for whatever it was. If you were a wife beater, you done beat your dang on old lady for 5 or 6 times, they're gonna give you more time than your first time. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. It's
The
called being a habitual
1994
offender.
crime bill, and by the way, I just looked this up. I didn't know this. Polly Klaas, remember that case in California? That was the big movement to push the 3 strike sentencing.
What
And
happened?
it came in the 93 in California.
This is
What
the
happened
classic
with-
case.
The murder of the kidnap and murder of Polly Klaas.
This is the classic argument that Joe Biden made that black men are super predators, right, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Fuck Joe Biden.
And it was Hillary. It was really pushed.
It was actually Clinton first, by the way.
Yeah, it was both of them.
Isn't that a perfect
Joe,
example of
my
projection?
question. Let me ask this question.
You guys, white politicians have been
Hold on,
scared
Joe.
of black people for the entirety of politics in
Let me
America.
ask this is the larger point you're trying to make is that racism has existed in history?
Yes. So I'm a
Why?
history teacher, and my largest point, the only point I'm trying to make, is that the ripple effects of the 1960 civil rights movement still exist today. That is my only point.
Okay. Explain it.
They exist socioeconomically, they exist cultural anthropologically, they exist politically.
So what changed the 50s and 60s? Explain to me.
Desegregation, Civil Rights Movement, Equal Credit Opportunity Act, Fair Credit Reporting Act. Everything happened with John F. Kennedy in the 60s and 70s to actually try to dissuade
But he
that
died in
difference.
63.
Well, the 1974 Equal Credit Opportunity Act, it was the same
He was
government
dead 11
that he
years
was.
by then.
Fine. That was the same government that he put in place, right? So the same governors, senators.
And
Jesus,
guess
Abby.
what they did?
Fucking learn your history. Like this
And
is
they
what happened.
lived
so
it.
hard.
You gotta tell me. You tell me what happened in 1964. You tell me what happened in
With the Civil Rights
1964.
Act?
Wait,
Yes,
in
the Civil Rights
64,
Act.
He
in
wasn't.
64,
He was dead.
we got off the.
He
we
was
got off
dead,
the
but
gold standard.
who
Johnson.
ran the 1960? Who were the
We
people
got off
who
the
ran
gold
that?
standard, sir. That's what happened in 64.
Who ran it? If without John F.
It was
Kennedy, that would not have happened.
I have to
In
know
my
though, why do you feel so compelled to have to convince people of this?
Oh, I don't have to convince anybody. That's history.
And JFK was.
I'm not
more-
convincing anybody. I'm telling you exactly what happened. I'm not convincing anybody. If you don't believe me, you're wrong.
You definitely feel compelled enough.
If you don't believe me, you're wrong.
Does this help your moral
This is the
righteousness?
history of America.
Do you feel
See, once
you feel
again,
morally
there's an absolute.
superior?
You're saying you're convincing no one, but you're teaching this rhetoric to your children.
Brother, I don't matter. I have nothing to
So
do
you're
with it.
convincing them.
I have nothing to do with it. Do you know what happened in America in 1964? Do you know what happened?
Yes, I do know what happened in America.
So am I lying about it?
Actually, Joe,
Am I
was
about it?
someone who was in a city public school that had busing occur. And I lived through it
So am I
when it
wrong?
happened, okay? I absolutely remember when they first started the busing and how it changed my school. Yes.
And you
Like-
mentioned earlier about the Mason-Dixie line. I
Which
remember
was-
when it was just, you didn't even have road signs. You had rocks on the side of the damn highway.
You also had extrajudicial killing.
Excuse me?
You had extrajudicial killing of African Americans south of the Mason-Dixie line.
In the state of Delaware, you're saying that's south of the Mason.
Nope. In South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama.
Where's the Mason-Dixon line?
What are you saying?
You mean
Are you really telling me, Abby, fucking get the fuck out of here? Are you saying that during Jim Crow era?
Where's the Mason-Dixon line? I just
You know
asked
what?
a question.
Fine,
That's all.
Fine.
And those states that you just named, sir, were all Democrat strongholds.
Oh, what pronouns do you use on your dating apps? That's what I want to know. And like, what? How did this guy get so retarded that this is what his shtick on this app every time he talks? What is this? Hello?
It's my first time ever speaking with him.
Were we talking about lynchings? In America, there were about 50 from the 8th.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there was something like from the inception of America until the 1960s, whatever.
Yep.
There was something like 55. I forget.
There was a lynching in Minnesota in 1920.
5,500 lynchings total. About
A legal lynching of black men in 1920 in Duluth, Minnesota.
I was still talking. Thank you. So we can point to the individual lynchings, but the total were 5,500. 3,500 were black men. The others were white men. And it started
And you think those
originally
numbers
with white men. So
What?
Yeah,
Who's lynching white men in America?
yeah, that 2,000 of them were white.
No, they're
men.
Ojibwe. They're Ojibwe. Who's lynching white men in America?
Other white men?
Who? When? Give me one citation
Yeah,
of a white man being lynched in America. Give me a citation.
Look it up on Google. How many lynchings?
Leo
there
Frank,
were?
he was a Jewish man and he was lynched in.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leo Frank was lynched in
The
Georgia.
one guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me, it was a pretty significant
but
guy. It's actually
Yeah,
the founding of
except
ADL came as a result
Abby,
of Leo
that's
Frank.
not the point I'm making.
But
The point I'm making is that lynchings are a terrible thing, but they are
What?
not the worst thing that happened. And the idea that the outrage over lynchings, yes, it's terrible.
what do you
that
mean
black
it's not
men
the
were
worst?
lynched,
What's worse than
but it
lynching?
is a metric and a statistic that is indicative of nothing. And if you want restorative, bringing it back to restorative justice, if you want restorative justice, well, kill 3,500 white people, and then we're done with the restorative justice.
That's so stupid.
And white people, no, I'm talking about numbers. I'm using math. And
that's not what anybody's asking for.
Then you will have equality and restorative justice for lynching.
I'm talking about not lynching. I'm talking about the black people who've been shot in the fucking head during Jim Crow law.
So Joe,
what does he teach?
Let me just respond real quick. Look, the NAACP reports 1,297 white people were lynched between 1882 and 1968, out of a total of 4,743 lynchings. So it's about a 27% of the lynchings that occurred over a 100-year span were of white people.
What is it? The 3 Jewish kids that were down in Mississippi that were killed. Goodman.
They were just killed.
They were murdered.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were lynched. No, I mean, they was absolute lynch. Is it Andrew Goodman? I'm trying to remember his first name. There were 3 of them. And that movie, they did a movie about it, Mississippi Burning. Yeah.
Oh, that's Mississippi Burning. Okay.
Yes, along with the white lady who was driving.
Right.
Joe,
what was in that? Gene Hackman?
Are you high school or middle school history? Like, what do you teach?
He doesn't teach.
High school history. I did. I don't teach anymore. I'm in banking now.
Just to give you
But I'll tell
FYI,
you
the
an
Mason-Dixon
lesson.
line begins at Delaware and
I'll
Maryland.
tell you an interesting.
So you're kind of going after states. Like when you said, you got to know geographically where that line is. Just thought I'd share that.
The geographic line is like south of
tell me if I'm
Oklahoma.
wrong.
No,
all the way
it's
east.
Delaware and
I don't care.
Maryland. It's south of
fucking
Pennsylvania.
Fine.
But
Fucking
But
you
listen,
fine.
the
You have
Mason-
the fucking.
hold on.
I'm
you're-
talking about the Jim
you're
Crow
confused.
South,
You must
Abby.
be
Yeah, but you said the Mason-Dixon line, and I'm correcting you because
fine,
that's
you're
Delaware
right.
and
You're right about
Maryland.
it. You're right. Fine, you're right. The Mason
But
Dixon
you
line.
must be.
But
you
let's
must
talk
be
about
confused.
Georgia
Hold
and Troup County.
Hold on, bro.
Let's talk about
you assert so many
thousands
points. Let us talk. Listen, you must be mixing up. The Mason-Dixon line's relevance was during the Civil War, not during Jim Crow.
Jim Crow? During Jim Crow.
It wasn't as significant as the Civil War. You must be mixing up your concepts. The primary purpose of the Mason-Dixon line was during the Civil War.
Was John Earl Reese during the Civil War in 1955? No.
What the fuck are you doing, Joe? Are you this fucking retarded? You're gonna ask a new question? What about this? What about that? Joe, is this your show? This is retarded. This is fucking. What's this even about?
Why do you think Jim Crow was a problem? You tell me. Why do you think Jim Crow was a problem?
Like this guy.
Because of the Democrats.
Why do you think Jim Crow
The
was a
Democrats
problem?
instituted
Are you guys
Jim
okay
Crow.
with Jim Crow?
Oh my
Are you
God.
okay with Jim Crow?
Are you okay with being a fucking retard? How okay are you with being retarded?
And reversing Plessy versus Ferguson. Everyone in the room is in accordance on that. Very
So
happy about that change of the law. It's important. I assume you're happy with Brown versus Board of Education, reverse Plessy versus Ferguson, right? So that's how we feel. We're all in support of it.
Was the Jim Crow South.
But the Mason-Dixon line is, Joe's right.
Nothing to do with Jim Crow.
Nothing to do
Was
with
the
Jim
Jim
Crow.
Crow South in support of that?
It's in support of what? Of what?
Desegregation.
Or what?
So when was the first? You guys tell
No,
me.
it wasn't.
You're not
Obviously, George
What
Wallace
is the
stood
first
in
school?
the front of a.
What state did the desegregation in the first school? Come on.
So Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yes, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Thank you.
Now, I would
Now
tell
you want to
you.
keep asking me?
No, I wasn't asking you. I was asking the class.
You want to say
Segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever.
Hold on a
We'll
second.
talk about George Wallace and bringing in the federal troops.
Well, hold on.
Or talk about the
Before you go there.
4,000 lynchings of African American across 12 southern states
Okay.
between
Now, you want to
1877 and
say that-
1950. Let's do that.
You
Let's
want
talk about
I
that.
don't know.
Everybody, be quiet.
Jews that were killed in Mississippi.
Everyone, be quiet, please.
Mississippi is the
I
death.
swear to God.
I was
Jim Crow
involved
death
in
for black people.
I was involved in the George
Is
Wallace
everyone slow or
Were you?
stupid?
Alan?
Which one?
campaign.
I hear you, KP.
Did you know that?
Now,
No.
you want to sit here and act like white people were not fucking up other white people over shit. What happened to George Wallace? A white man put a fucking bullet in his back to kill his ass. That's how he ended up in a wheelchair.
I was involved with his presidential campaign.
Damn, I didn't know that. That happened to George Wallace?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was shot.
Yeah.
Assassination
Okay.
attempt.
You know, Forrest Gump was there when George Wallace was trying to fight Kennedy on just, integration. He
Yeah,
played for Alabama.
that's right.
What percentage of the vote did he get when he was an independent?
Who? Wallace?
Yeah.
A
So
more
I don't know if
important
he
question is,
flipped over to become a Dixiecrat at one time or some shit.
how would you categorize Jednay? Was she a good girl, or was she just did she get what was coming to her? Jednay.
Jenny was a whore, though, wasn't she?
Yeah, what a bunch of with fucking AIDS.
How
And we
funny
still
is
trying
that?
to
You,
figure out.
you guys call a girl a whore because she has one other partner? She has one other partner, and she's But by the way, in the 1968 U.S. presidential election, it looks like George Wallace got 13.5% of the popular vote.
Somebody would take.
But Jenny's a whore because she had.
Well,
one
Joe,
other
that's
partner.
why I was asking. How would you
Forrest Gump was out
categorize
to
her?
war.
Because when Forrest found her,
She's
she
a
was
slut.
about to jump off the balcony. She was with a rock and roll guy. They were overlooking the George Washington
She
Monument,
must
weren't
be
they?
a whore.
Well, we're not saying
That
she was a
obvious.
whore per
Obvious in the
se.
movie.
We're just trying to
That's obviously
categorize
what
her.
the director wanted you to feel.
Well, how did
Exactly.
Forrest?
So what's your point?
I guess the real question is: was Forrest so retarded that he had no feelings either way? Is that really? Was he
That's a
autistic
good
and he
question.
couldn't
That's a
actually
good
have
question.
feelings about Jenny?
Autistic as hell.
It's a great question.
But the bigger question is, how you fuck her? You don't get AIDS.
Sheepskin?
Are we sure it was AIDS and not like?
He had a kid with her.
Well, AIDS is actually exploding in America ever since the illegal alien migration that Joe Biden allowed to occur through the border.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
And
that's
there's
crazy.
the solution to our immigration
Hello?
problems. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, the solution to our immigration problems is paint the pool again. Paint the pool.
It looked pretty good. I just saw it.
Having problems
And I was
with
see.
reflective
Thought the reflection pool
for
looked pretty
50
good.
years.
They look good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to ponds.
Excuse me, it looked good.
They look good.
So
They
did
look
the
good.
chair. The chair was pretty nice.
Yes, you can hear that.
Any of your students be libtards? Is that your goal?
He
Hey,
thinks
I'm conservative.
he thinks the more
Yeah.
brain rot he shares
I am.
on this app, the more karma points he gets.
Is he teaching in public school?
Does
Yeah, I
Of course
preach
he is.
small government.
he works
which is
in banking now?
not what we
He's a
have now.
banking
Do
teller.
you teach basic like civics?
No, American
Jim Crow in the Civil War. Yeah.
and the amazing you guys are missing the amazing amount of
Mhm.
complete bias.
Oh my
Governmental
god!
complete racial bias.
Oh my god!
Yep, it used to be, and then turned but felt they still have to write. It's fucking obvious. This is American History 101.
Jim Crow South, they wanted to implement slavery again.
Nope, they wanted to
Yes, they
punish.
did, sir. Yes, they did.
Wait, are you saying that Jim Crow South didn't exist, Kat?
Yes, it did.
Oh, what was it?
Your Jim Crow
How was
South,
it in the Jim Crow South?
they wanted to keep slavery. I agree with you on that.
Yep.
Now, when you come to the
And it was
60s,
illegal.
that you can argue, yes, after the Civil War, because motherfucking Confederate, well, it's Confederacy family. Now, in the 60s, with the Jim Crow law,
Acting all laws.
Joe, now
There were laws, there were cases like Kelly versus Kramer. I mean, there were cases that overturned housing restrictions and covenants. I mean, there were Supreme Court cases through time that reversed. When I said Brown was obviously the most famous one. But there were several cases. When was Shelley? That would have been like in the late 40s.
So you're saying Jim Crow wasn't a real guy?
Yeah, he was a real guy. Look it up. The Democrats Institute. Listen, Joe, now that we know you're fully retarded and the Civil Rights Act is your favorite part of
I guess
tell
I'm
us,
retarded.
Joe, explain to us, what is philosophy? What is philosophy?
Philosophy is the study of the self.
And so
The
what
other case was the Smith Albright case, which was the voting.
So, Joe, if philosophy is the study of the self, how retarded are you to come on here at 1 a.m. and sit here and just do this shtick about structural white racist America? Like, what's your point?
Because America is structurally white racist.
Somebody call Beamer!
Prove me wrong.
Somebody call Beamer!
okay, me right.
Somebody call Beamer, quick!
The conversation. I'll prove you wrong, Joe, and I'll tell you all about the mandatory CRT.
Do you think there were no ripple effects?
Please.
Do you think there are no
want me to
ripple
prove you
effects?
wrong?
Joe,
Yes, prove me wrong. Prove me
right
wrong.
now.
Just give me
Just
3
had-
initials.
You just had Obama as a fucking president.
No, doesn't matter.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Here's why it's not
convenient.
Do you guys think? Do you know what happened in America in the
If it
1950s?
was so fucking
Do you know what
racist,
the
you would
Great
never
White
have a
Flight is?
black
Have you heard of the Great White Flight
Yes.
in America in the 1950s?
Okay, you're not addressing his point about Obama. You
It
just
doesn't matter.
dismissed it.
One. That's like
Why
saying
doesn't
that's
it
like
matter?
saying we like
Why
Michael
doesn't
Jordan.
it matter?
We like Michael Jordan,
When-
so we're not racist.
Oh, and then word
No.
salad as a VP.
No.
That's another
No.
one.
No, I think
I'm talking
electing
about
the
nuance.
voting for the person who is going to have the highest office in the land
You think
and
so?
people's
And there was a
attitude
ton of white
about
people.
You think
that.
that just
I
Alan,
think
you think that
it
just ends
matters.
racism? You think that
So I
ends
just
racist?
refuted your argument that it
No,
doesn't
that's wrong.
matter.
That's wrong.
So your dismissive,
No, yeah, I
comment
completely
there
dismiss
is
that. I completely dismiss that.
yeah, well, that makes you an idiot.
No, it
Now,
doesn't.
that's number one. Number two, try talking like a man, not like a gay person.
That's a
trying to
personal. It doesn't.
Try
It doesn't matter.
to
That's a
pretend
personal
that
attack.
they're
I don't matter.
well, you just made it.
I don't matter. What is the percentage
to,
of minorities in our prisons right
So,
now from the 1980s drug war?
2008,
What is
less
it?
than 5%
What happened in
of
Watts?
the voting public believed that race was an issue in the presidential election.
That's
an
not
actual
what we're talking about.
statistic. Yeah, we're talking.
We're talking about is
the
America.
country systematically or
Yes, it
racist.
is. It is.
And
No,
it
it's
is
not.
It is.
It is less so today than ever before. It is less so today than ever before. But the ripple effects, remember,
Oh,
the Equal
ripple
Credit Opportunity
effects.
Act, the
Oh,
Equal Credit
excuse
Opportunity
me.
Act is only from
Ripple
1974.
effects.
The ripple effects
What
have
was the
to
ripple effects of over 300,000
Oh, because if you were black and you applied for a
white
mortgage, I could
men
destroy
dying
your
to
application.
defend- to abolish slavery.
Because it is true in the data. If you ask AI right now,
That's
right
why
now,
you have more black
Yeah.
ownership than ever.
ask AI is applying for a car loan better for you if you're white or not? Just ask them.
Joe,
Just ask your AI. Just ask them.
Why
In America.
is-
In America.
Okay, yes.
so we passed
The
the
ripple
law.
effect still exists. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is the ripple effect still exists.
You like
Joe, excuse me. Is
I haven't
it
talked to you this
harder
whole
for
time. Can I
black
say
people
something?
to get a car loan because of their specific behaviors that impede their ability. Yes, it is.
No,
yes,
that's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I know that's not what you're saying because you don't want to blame people for their behaviors.
I have never talked
that it is racism.
I have never talked about
critical race theory.
Joke.
Okay.
And the sex.
Yes or no?
Hold on a second. Let that speak.
Joe, did we not pass the Fair Housing Act in 1978 because of redlining?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think that DEI is racist?
No.
Okay. Then
Do
why
you
are we having
think
this
critical
conversation with
race
this fucking
theory is
idiot?
racist?
Then I'm a fucking idiot?
Yes, DEI is racist.
How?
Because
No. She said it's racist. Let her explain how it's racist.
I'm still waiting for my "Do you believe in CR?"
Anne said DEI is racist. How is it racist?
And I asked her,
It is
"Do you believe in CR?"
How?
Racist.
How?
Discriminates against whites.
Why?
Discriminate
What does
against white
DEI say?
people.
Do you guys actually hire people? Because I hire people.
Yeah.
You know,
hire
we have a
people,
DEI.
hire people.
You know what it means? You know what
Fire
it actually says? The DEI inclusive actually says we can't discriminate hiring against race. It doesn't mean we have to give black people a better chance if they have the same fucking interview as white people.
Okay, but that's
Not what you guys are sucking on that fucking Trump cock. You're so fucking dumb. That is not what DEI
Okay,
means.
so Joe.
That's not what it means.
Okay,
That's so fucking stupid.
okay.
Diversity.
That's would you hire? Wait,
Equity.
Anne. Would you? Anne, do you hire people? Anne, do you hire people in your
To
job?
answer that,
Do you hire?
Sure do.
You do. Would you hire, if you have DEI, would you hire a black person who can't read over a white person who's qualified?
Okay.
Would you?
So then
Would you? No, you wouldn't.
I don't know. What do you think about Joe?
so
What do you think
fucking
about
stupid.
hold on, guys? What do you think about discriminating against the Asians and the Asians not being able to get in? What do you think about the Asians not being able to get into college?
I have two Asians
How'd you feel about the
We're
Harvard
not
case?
talking
Did you
about
think Harvard was discriminating against Asians?
I don't know. I can't speak
You're
to
a
that.
teacher.
Probably
You
you
know about the
don't know.
Harvard case.
Yeah, but
So
he
do you
doesn't-
think it was fair to the
I
Asian community that we had
Honestly,
affirmative
I
action
still-
for 25 years and that they discriminated against the Asian community and acceptance and admissions in universities? I think that was
Honestly,
fair.
No, honestly, I don't know about that. I haven't read
Oh,
about it.
no.
I'll be
You
honest.
don't know about
I'm just being honest. I haven't read about that.
No,
Suddenly you haven't read about it.
What's the reason
No,
for
but
Do you believe
guys-
in critical race theory?
That's
No.
not
Follow
what, but
it.
he did.
Well, yeah, critical race theory is.
Oh my God.
It's like
No.
fucking critical.
No.
Can you define critical race
No,
theory?
can
Alan?
you
Yeah.
define what DEI is again?
Yes,
Because
critical
What
race
is it?
Not
theory
accurate.
is
It's
a
not
theory
accurate.
in which to explain the racial
gosh.
disparities between different racial and ethnic groups. That's the quote from Derek Bell, Critical Race Theory and Introduction.
So you're saying that
Are
like
you
you're
a gender crit?
that's
are
so
you
funny.
a
You're
race
saying like
crit?
critical gender theory is
No,
the explanation of different
Where
genders
did I
for different
mention
people.
gender?
You didn't
It's Derek
explain
Bell
it.
and it's Crenshaw and
You
that's
didn't
the whole
explain
theory.
it. You just
I did.
defined its parameters.
But
What is critical
okay,
race theory?
All right. Yes.
What is it?
Now you're gonna. I knew you were gonna discount.
What is it? What is critical race
It's
theory?
a theory amongst many.
What's the
theories.
theory?
It's one of many theories about.
No, that's just one of many. What is the theory?
Yeah,
The race
it
is
Now, here's
is socially
the thing.
constructed
What
Yeah,
is
but
the
see-
theory?
to oppress and exploit
the critical
people of
race?
color, and that racism.
And
Go ahead, Alan. You
here's
want to do it?
the point.
What is the theory?
Okay, I just told you what it is.
No, a
Now-
theory is something that explains an observation, right? So
No,
what is
no,
critical race theory?
I
How does
just
it explain
told
an
you
observation?
What the definition is. Now I knew you weren't going to accept it.
Nope.
From there,
Concept of
because
intersectionality.
You're not the first person. No, Abby, let me finish. You're not the first person I've had this kind of.
I'm not the last person you not explaining it to.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up and explain it. What is the theory? What is the
Just
theory?
did, but
Now,
you're talking over
Having
him.
moved beyond
How does the
that
theory?
point, what
How does the theory produce the hypothesis?
What is the importance of lived
What is the
experience?
critical race theory? What's the theory?
Importance of lived experience within critical race theory?
No, what is the theory? What is critical race theory? You haven't said that.
Crazy.
Well, you haven't explained what the theory
Joe, he
is.
just explained. He said,
No, he did not.
yes, he did.
What
He said,
is the theory?
he gave the definition.
Either answer the question or shut up.
He just gave the definition that it's an explanation of the disparities between racial groups.
There is none.
Here, real quick, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
There is none. There is no. When you go to any college, if you tell like I have, you go to any group, you go to any college, you teach at any level, you know there is no difference between races.
That isn't what.
So
I
there is
said.
no critical race theory. It
There-
was one
that
person.
is
It
Joe,
was one person. It
Joe,
was one person
wake
that
up
published
and
the
know
theory.
it's mandatory
You
by
should
the
listen.
American
No, it is
Bar
not.
Association
Abby,
in every fucking
asked
law
you
school
another
What would
in the
you know?
United States.
Answer
What would you know?
This is okay.
Every
I'm sorry.
fucking
It's
law
not
school.
mandated.
It's
Yeah,
mandated
Abby,
by the
so
Give me a
ABA.
link. Give
Oh,
me a
I'll
link.
give it to you right now.
Give me a link that critical race
Okay.
theory is mandated by
Mandated by
any
the
level of education.
ABA.
Any level.
Joe.
ABA, we have to take it in our
ABA?
ethics. We have to take it in the
The
beginning of
American
law school
Bankers
and at the end
Association?
of law school. Joe, don't talk over me. We have it mandatory the beginning of law school and the end of law
You have
school. Ethics
critical
classes,
race theory.
absolutely.
Show me.
Now,
Link it.
Joe.
Put it in
what
the chat with a link.
explain to
Wait,
me-
why can't you just say, I don't have to, like how you did when they asked you to explain something?
Yeah.
Because she's making an affirmative claim, Anne. Anne, girl, put your lip gloss on and fuck up.
Oh,
Because if you have an affirmative claim, you have to prove it. If you make a claim, you have to prove it.
I'm still waiting for what is, since you know so much about it, what is the lived experience and what does the phrase "am I crazy" mean as it relates to
What the
critical
fuck?
race theory? Do you know?
What is bro? You
Joe, did you really say there's no difference in the races as far as performance in college?
No, I did not. I did not say that.
Okay, I thought you said that. All right.
I did not
So
say
you
that. I said there's no
difference.
no. There's
Now,
no difference in
Answer. See, you don't see. I
There's
don't
no difference in
know
what?
more about
There's
performance.
no
It
difference
goes, though. I'm putting it in the
academic
fucking chat. You can
acceptance
read it. I
and
put the ABA rule in the
Okay.
chat.
Yes, there is.
Mr. Educator.
No, you didn't put a link here. You
Joe,
just put,
I actually
this is
did.
not a
It's
link.
such a-
This is not a link, Abby.
I'm still.
Because
This is
people
not a
don't
link.
click on links. So I'm
still
putting
waiting.
Why
the
would I
content
believe
of
what you
it.
put in the chat?
I give up.
Why would I believe this?
You know what?
just said
Because you're-
training must occur at the start of the law program.
That 303.
Typically
It's
during
down to
orientation.
ABA standard 303 subsection C.
What does this have to? You didn't put
It's
that
in
in the chat.
every law school. You know what? It's also in judge colleges. The judges have to study it now.
Let's find it. ABA. Let's
Joe?
look at this. ABA standard 303C. Look at this.
Yeah.
ABA
And while you're doing
standard.
that, you can tell me what lived experience means in relation to critical race theory and what the phrase.
You don't
"am I
even know what
crazy?"
critical race theory is. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
Do you know what I'm asking you?
You're not asking anything. You're just talking.
I just asked you.
What
a
are you
question.
asking?
Okay,
Ask
let's
a
ask
question.
the rest of the group. The rest of the group, do you understand the question I asked Joe?
Here's ABA standard 303C. A law school
right.
shall
Joe,
provide
you're
education
fucking
to law
crazy.
students on bias. cross-cultural
and you're
competency and racism at the start of the program of legal education, and at least once again before graduation. For
Bingo. It's exactly what I said in the beginning of law school and at the end of law school. It's now, it not only is it taught in the law schools, it's taught to the judges in the judges training and judges colleges.
Don't you understand why?
Yeah. Do I understand why? It's the absolute takeover of our American legal system.
Law is unbiased.
It's the takeover of our fucking legal system.
No, it's because law is unbiased.
Absolutely destroyed.
If you don't agree with that, Abby, are you saying law is biased? Are you saying law has to be biased? Abby, are you saying law has to be biased because 303C says the law school shall provide education law.
I'll be happy with our canons of ethics that we've had and our rules of ethics. We don't need this.
Should law be biased or unbiased?
This has nothing to do with that.
Critical race theory is biased.
All right, real quick here, Joe. First, you said show me where it's taught in any type of education level ever. Abby showed it to you, and you go, do you know why it's taught though? So first you said show me. Then when she does show you, you're like, well, yeah, but do you know why? And then back to the DEI thing, Joe. Real quick, you said in your company, you said you have a DEI initiative in your hiring practices of your company, but you guys, you're in your DEI initiative. There is no such thing as any type of discriminatory hiring practices. Well, then, Joe, I would ask you, then
I don't have those.
What's the purpose of DEI? Why would you even need it if you're just hiring on merit alone?
There is no. If any one of you can prove to me that DEI supersedes merit,
asking him that question because that's what
if any one of you can prove to me.
Which was a great question.
Joe, this is okay. So real quick, Joe.
Bro, I have hired.
No, bro. No, bro, nothing, man. Because you're being disingenuous right now. Abby just brought up the case, and this is where you're ignorant because you don't know something. You're arguing. Abby brought up a very valid point about the Asian discrimination in Harvard, and that was a huge case. So instead of just arguing back and forth, and you admitted you didn't read up on that, and that's an excellent fucking point. Look it up real quick, and you'll see that explains your answer. It went to court, bro. It was a huge fucking court case. It was a huge fucking lawsuit because of that. And they had the numbers and they had the stats to show that they were discriminating against Asian students just to admit other races to be able to fit a certain racial quota. That these Asian students were getting denied, even though they were scoring the highest. They were still getting denied and letting other races who scored extremely lower than them be able to enter Harvard.
So Sandra Day O'Connor, 25 years ago, longer now, in a very famous opinion, dealing with affirmative action, when they determined that affirmative action would be legal, they gave it a shelf life of 25 years. And they felt that whatever correction would happen, it will be at that point finished and obsolete and need to be reversed. And when the Harvard case, it was Harvard, it was also Chapel Hill, North Carolina, both cases were consolidated. And they saw the level of discrimination, and the Asian community specifically were not getting fair admissions. And when you see the numbers of
that's
acceptance,
the opposite of DEI, isn't it?
May I finish?
No, that is.
Aren't you guys claiming? Aren't you guys claiming?
I'm not finished.
Yes, you are. You're done. Aren't you claiming DEI is? Aren't you claiming DEI is hiring?
Retarded nigga. No, she's not done. Wait till she finishes and then you can respond.
I wasn't finished. Did he leave?
How cool does Joe feel that you called me N-word? He feels so cool.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he
left. Oh, this was. It's very frustrating when you talk to someone like, and this is the guy teaching students in a classroom. Think about
and that's what is both tragic and horrifying, is that you have educators like that, and we've seen YouTube videos of them where they really feel self-righteous about what they're teaching and what they're doing and what they're teaching to kids.
He made a statement, CRT is not being taught in any high-level education. I then say it's in the law schools. He says, I don't believe you, prove it. So then I put in where it shows that it's mandatory. He goes, I don't believe that's a rule. I have to see the rule. Then I put the actual lesson plan and the rule in the chat, and it still isn't enough.
No, then he goes, yeah, but you know why that is?
Yeah,
right.
Which is basically an admission, right? Right.
It's called sea lioning, folks. People like that will never, ever, ever concede a point. Their purpose is not to actually have a conversation. It's just to get people frustrated. That's it. But in his particular case, I think it's the better rule is you can never, Upton Sinclair, who was a progressive, you can never get a man to understand you when his income depends on not understanding you. He spent 20. No, it is so true.
Right, you can't fix racism and they'd be out of business. Right.
Yeah, and my version is you can never get a man to understand you when his self-esteem or ego depends on not understanding you. He spent however many years as a teacher. He made his money teaching this crap to students. He is.
Party said, he was like, my favorite part of American history was the civil rights era. It's like, well, I hope he's thanking Republicans for all of that, because without the Republicans, it doesn't get passed. The Democrats had more than enough senators more than they had. What they had 78 senators, and only 40 of them to vote. But because you need 60, the Republicans voted for it unanimously. All of the Republicans voted